So let's take you through 2012 and your relationship. Could you just describe for the jury a little bit about how
Vamos,
that relationship evolved through 2012?
vamos falar sobre o seu relacionamento em 2012. Bastante tempo, hein?
It was always intense. It didn't become intense. It almost started that way.
Sempre foi intenso.
When I was with him, I felt that electricity in my body. I felt like butterflies. I couldn't,
Quando eu estava com ele, eu sentia eletricidade no meu corpo e eu me sentia como borboletas.
I couldn't see straight practically. It was just,
Eu não conseguia enxergar bem.
I was head over heels in love, and he felt like that to me. He felt like he was also in love. I didn't feel like he was faking it.
Ele parecia apaixonado e ser verdadeiro, ele não parecia estar fingindo.
I felt like what we had, it felt like to me at the time there wasn't any love like that, I mean.
Naquela época nunca tinha acontecido um amor desse tipo comigo.
And then he started to kind of do this thing again where he'd disappear.
Ele começou a fazer esse negócio que era desaparecer.
He'd come back, and I remember
E ele voltava.
at first when he first started drinking, I didn't really think much of it, but all of a sudden the behavior kind of started to go in line with the disappearing, and
Ele começava a beber também, ele desaparecia. E a princípio eu não achava que isso era ligado.
he'd come back and he'd just be different.
Aí ele voltava e ele era diferente.
And I'd say something, and he'd accuse me of saying something else or saying it in a different way, or he would, it was mostly my clothing at the time.
Ele escutava alguma coisa, me acusava de ser uma coisa que eu não era. Às vezes, ela falou que na época ele brigava muito por causa das roupas.
And me working, that was the main
E o trabalho.
thing. Like, I found myself trying to not talk about auditions because it would change the mood so dramatically.
Eu tentava não falar do meu trabalho porque ele mudava de humor dramaticamente.
I tried to, he would make these comments about
Ele fazia esses comentários sobre
pouring myself out, but
eu me prostituir.
do so in the
Eu me,
context of me acting,
no contexto de eu atuando.
And he would talk about other actresses who do my role in this way where they were worthless whores.
Ele falava de outras atrizes que podiam fazer o mesmo papel que o meu. Ele dizia que elas eram putas inúteis.
They were, fame hungry, expletive, just this. The point is, it felt really dirty.
O ponto é, isso fazia, parecia muito sujo
To be an actor. Never mind that he
para alguém trabalhar como ator, apesar dele ser também, né? Ela disse que a forma dele falar sobre o trabalho dela que parecia uma coisa meio suja, né?
It was dirty that I wanted to do this job that I wanted to do, and I was doing the job of an actress. It was everything
Era tudo.
time I was walking out of the house,
Toda vez que eu saía de casa, ele me perguntava: é isso que você vai vestir?
I see.
Ah, tá, tô percebendo.
I wore a dress to an event once, and I felt beautiful in it.
Aí eu me arrumei pro evento uma vez e eu me senti bonita nele.
Like, stupid as that sounds, I felt
Apesar disso parecer estúpido, eu me senti bonita.
dress I picked out, and I showed it him because it's a carpet, it's red carpet, so it's like, publicized, and I kind of thought it was weird he wasn't saying anything about it,
Aí eu falei com ele sobre isso, porque eu ia andar no tapete vermelho, ia sair, né, ser publicado em vários jornais. Aí eu achei estranho que ele não falou nada.
I left him to go do this red carpet, and I was like, did you see the
Aí eu meio tentando chamar a atenção dele, querendo dizer assim, tipo, tu viu lá eu no tapete vermelho,
You know, the event I went to,
no evento que eu fui?
basically, I felt pretty and I thought, like, did you see that? I wanted
Basicamente eu me senti bonita e eu queria dizer, tu viu, percebeu aquilo?
him to say something about that, I guess. And
E ele não
he
falou
said,
nada e
well, this is after he stopped talking to me for some time, didn't tell me why. When he came back in my life, he wouldn't explain.
isso foi depois dele parar de falar comigo por um tempo, depois quando ele voltou pra minha vida ele não
Why he
explicou,
was acting different. He just
porque ele estava
kind of
diferente,
acted mad at me.
só estava meio nervoso
Didn't know
comigo,
what I had done wrong.
mesmo eu não sabendo o que eu tinha feito de errado.
And when I brought up the dress and the event, because it was an event to support a charity I was really involved with at the time,
Um detalhe interessante, e aí quando eu falei sobre esse vestido e esse evento era para ajudar na caridade, né? Então ela já trabalha com caridade há bastante tempo, né? Interessante isso.
and I said, did you see that thing? And he said, yeah, I think the whole world saw that kid.
Aí ela perguntou, você viu isso? Aí ele falou, eu acho que o mundo todo viu isso, garota.
That's how they'll
Tipo,
remember you.
é como eles vão lembrar de você.
That's how the world will remember you.
É como o mundo vai lembrar de você.
I was like, oh, come on. I mean, it's like, but I felt good in it. I felt good. And he said, yeah, kid, that's what you're putting out there in the world. No one will ever forget that. And
Aí ela, mas eu tava bonita, né? Aí ele falou, garota, você quis se mostrar assim pro mundo e ninguém vai esquecer
that's
disso.
all they'll see you as. That's what you wanted.
É como eles vão ver como você é. É isso que você
What
é.
you were going for. My
É disso que você tá atrás.
dress was slow cut. I get it. Slow cut.
Eu acho que é porque era um vestido curto. Talvez, eu entendi, né? Mais ou menos.
But I felt,
Mas eu me senti
I felt really embarrassed and
envergonhada,
horrible that I wore that. I felt like,
horrível por ter usado aquilo.
how could I have made that choice? Of course, he's right. You start to believe it. I started to believe that made a lot of sense, of course.
E eu comecei a acreditar nisso porque fazia sentido.
But it didn't stop with that. It was just
Mas não parou com isso.
clothing in general. And when I walked out of the house,
Era as roupas no geral, quando eu saía da casa.
it wasn't just like, hey, you're not allowed to wear that. It was like, oh, really? That's what you're wearing. No wonder you get cast in those roles. No wonder you that's what you are. That's what you're making it.
Quando eu saía de casa, ele não falava assim pra mim, ei, você não pode usar isso. Ele falava assim, por isso que tu ganha aqueles papéis, né, no cinema, né, é por isso que tu vai com essas roupinhas, né.
And it continued. And then
E aí continuava, então,
there would be a blow up. And at first it was just to throw something, smash some things.
ele foi ficando violento, primeiro jogando coisas ou batendo nas coisas.
He loves to smash up a place, an apartment, furniture.
Ele gosta de quebrar as coisas em casa, no
Threw glass at me,
apartamento, jogar
and I remember it was
copos.
summer,
E eu lembro do verão
and he
que
just threw this glass across the kitchen, and it didn't hit me, but it shattered behind me, and I remember thinking,
ele jogou esse copo que passou por mim, não me acertou, mas eu fiquei
that it,
pensando
like, very easily could have hit me.
que poderia ter me acertado.
And that calling me a whore, it didn't start with using the whore word, it was just comments.
Não parou com a
And
palavra
so he'd escalate,
prostituta, tinha uns comentários
and then
sobre o que eu
I started to
fazia.
notice a pattern of escalation where he'd throw glass or turn over a table, then he would hit the wall, and then he'd hit the wall really close to my head.
Então eu devia ter notado os padrões de comportamento, que ele começou xingando, jogando coisas, acertando as coisas perto da minha cabeça.
Like when I'm standing there, just hit the wall, screaming at me.
Ele batia na parede, gritava comigo.
But then he would disappear
Então ele desaparecia
and get clean and sober, and he'd come back and tell me
e voltava
that
sóbrio.
he was done drinking, he was over it,
Que voltava dizendo que estava sóbrio,
he was
que
done,
estava de
clean
boa.
himself up, he'd done it before, and he'd do it again. And then he would go back to this, like,
E aí ele ficava nesse ciclo, fazia isso de novo.
wonderful, like, almost like just unreal, like, but real, you know, but unbelievably nice, sensitive, kind, warm.
Aí ele voltava um cara inacreditavelmente carinhoso, sensível, legal,
Generous,
generoso,
interesting, funny
interessante,
man that
divertido,
I loved.
que eu amava.
And he would make me feel so loved, like it would get. I would
Ele
feel
fazia eu
so
me sentir
distant from that thing.
tão amada e me sentia distante daquela coisa, daquela outra
Not even
coisa que ele era.
recognized it too. And that was how, you know, our relationship kind of started to develop in that first year.
E foi assim que o relacionamento começou a se desenvolver naquele primeiro ano. Ela está falando de 2012.
Do you remember the first time that
Eles casaram em 2015, 3 anos depois.
he physically hit you?
Yes.
Aí a advogada dela pergunta, que é uma entrevista da advogada dela, esse foi o primeiro dia de testemunho dela, tá, gente? Você lembra a primeira vez que ele te acertou? Aí ela fala sim.
Please tell the jury about it.
Por favor, diga ao júri.
It's seemingly so stupid, so insignificant.
Parece
I will
insignificante.
never forget it.
Nunca vou esquecer.
It changed my life.
Isso mudou minha vida.
I was sitting on the couch, and we were talking. We were having a normal conversation, you know, just there was no fighting, no argument, nothing.
Nós estávamos no sofá batendo um papo normal, tranquilo.
And
E
he was drinking, and
ele estava bebendo.
I didn't realize at the time, but I think he was using cocaine because it was like there was a jar of cocaine out.
Eu não lembro na época, mas eu acho que ele estava usando de cocaína porque tinha um jarro.
On the table. I realize that sounds weird, but it was
Um jarro estranho, que era um jarro segundo ela, um jarro de cocaína.
an actual vintage jar of it. But I didn't see him use it at the time, so I didn't really factor that in. I just, you know, he's drinking and we're talking, and there's music playing, and he's smoking cigarette.
Estavam bebendo, conversando, fumando.
And we're sitting next to each other on the couch, and I asked him about the tattoo he has on his arm.
Aí ela perguntou sobre a tatuagem no braço
just
dele.
looked like black marks. I didn't know what it said. It just looked like muddled, faded tattoo that was hard to read. And I said, "What does it say?"
Ela não conseguia ler o que estava dizendo, só aparecia marcas negras. Aí ela perguntou, o que está escrito aí?
And he said it says wino. It says wino, and
Ele falou que era o Aino. Acho que eu tava falando da ex dele, né? Aí ela.
I didn't see that. I thought he was joking.
Eu achei que ele tava
Because
brincando.
it didn't look like it said that at all, and I laughed.
Porque não parecia que tava escrito isso. Aí eu comecei a rir.
It was that simple.
Só isso,
I just
simplesmente.
laughed because I thought he was joking.
Achei que ele tava fazendo uma piada.
And slapped me across the face.
Ele me deu um tapa.
And I laughed.
E eu ri mais.
I laughed because
Eu ri porque
I didn't know what else to do. I thought, this must be a joke.
Eu ri mais porque eu não sabia mais o que fazer. Eu pensei, isso aí deve ser uma piada.
This must be a joke.
Isso só pode ser uma piada.
I didn't know what was going on. I just stared at him, kind of laughing still, thinking that he was going to start laughing too to tell me it was a joke.
Eu só fiquei rindo, olhando ele e esperando ele começar a rir também para me contar que isso era uma piada.
but he didn't.
Mas ele não fez.
He said, "You think it's so funny? You think it's funny, bitch? You think you're a funny bitch?"
Ele perguntou, você acha que é engraçado, puta? Você acha que é engraçado, puta? Você acha que é engraçado?
And he slapped me again.
E aí ele me bateu de novo.
Like, it was clear it wasn't a joke anymore.
E aí eu não sabia bem se era uma piada, né? Porque é a segunda vez.
And I stopped laughing, but I didn't know what else to do.
Eu parei de rir, mas não sabia o que fazer.
I didn't know what to do. You would think you would have a response, but I, as a woman, had never been hit like that.
Você pensa que vai ter algum tipo de resposta, porque eu, como mulher, nunca havia sido apanhado dessa forma.
I'm an adult, and I'm sitting next to the man I love, and he slapped me for no reason, it seemed like. And
Eu sou uma adulta, eu tô sentada do lado do homem que eu amo e ele me bate, pô, sem nenhuma razão.
missed the point. It was that stupid.
Eu não
Second
entendi
slap, I
por
know he's
quê.
not kidding, but I don't know what else to say or do, so I just stared at him.
Eu não sabia se ele tava brincando, eu não sabia o que dizer, então eu só fiquei lá encarando ele.
I didn't say anything. I didn't react.
Eu não disse nada, eu não reagi.
I didn't move or freak out or
Eu não
defend myself
surtei,
or
não me defendi.
say, "What are you doing? You're crazy." I just
Eu não perguntei, o que tu tá fazendo? Tu é louco?
stared at him because I didn't know what else to do.
Eu só fiquei encarando ele, sem ter bem o que fazer, né?
And he slaps me one more time.
E ele me bateu mais uma vez.
Hard.
Essa foi doída, assim, mais forte.
I lose my balance. At this point, we're sitting next to each other on the edge of the couch, or I was on the edge of the couch. And I'm all of a sudden realizing that the worst thing has just happened to me.
Aí eu fiquei assim, balançada, né? Sentada no sofá, pensando o que essa coisa horrível aconteceu comigo.
That could possibly happen to you. I realized that I wish so much he had said he was joking. Because it didn't hurt. It didn't physically hurt me. I was just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet and why I was.
Ela fala que ela só queria que ele tivesse falado que era uma piada, porque não doeu o tapa, né? E aí ela tava lá jogada naquele carpete.
Was never why I never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before, and I just didn't know what else to
Eu não tinha notado que o tapete de lá era tão sujo.
do. I didn't know what to say.
E eu não sabia o que dizer, o que fazer.
I didn't know how to react. I
Não
just
sabia como reagir.
sat there thinking, how much time do I have to figure out what I need to do? Because, God, did he just hit me? No, I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want this to be the reality.
Eu queria saber o que fazer, porque eu fiquei pensando, meu Deus, ele me acertou? Eu não queria aceitar isso.
I didn't want to.
Eu não queria essa realidade.
Man, I was in love with.
Eu não queria ir embora porque esse era um homem que eu estava apaixonada.
I know you don't come back from that. You know, I'm not dumb. I know you can't hit a woman. You can't.
Eu sei que você não pode voltar atrás a respeito disso, que você não pode acertar uma mulher, né?
Can't hit a man. You can't hit anyone.
Você não pode acertar um homem, você não pode acertar
You
ninguém.
can't just hit somebody because they. I knew there was no. I knew it was wrong, and I knew that I had to leave him.
Eu sabia que isso era errado e eu sabia que eu tinha que fugir dele.
And that's what broke my heart.
E isso quebrou meu coração.
Because I didn't want to leave him. I thought if I got up out of that room, I would leave the best thing that ever happened to me.
Eu não queria deixar ele porque era a melhor coisa que aconteceu comigo.
And I wish I could sit here and say I stood up and I walked out of that house and I drew a line and I stood up for myself.
Ela ficou lá pela casa, ficou pensando, meio perdida.
Just looking at the dirty carpet, trying to will myself to get up.
olhando o tapete sujo, dizendo a mim mesmo para me levantar
to walk out of the door because I knew I needed to.
e sair pela porta porque eu precisava.
And I really slowly, I
E eu-
stood up and I remember looking at him in the eye.
Vagarosamente fiquei encarando ele nos
And
olhos,
just looking at him,
eu
because I
olhava
didn't know what
ele
else to do.
porque eu não sabia o que fazer.
And before I know it, he starts crying.
E antes que eu percebisse, ele começou a chorar.
And you know, like I had never seen an adult man cry.
E eu nunca vi um homem adulto chorar.
I didn't even really see my dad cry at my grandma's funeral. You know, it's weird.
Eu só tinha visto meu pai chorar no funeral da minha avó, é estranho.
He's crying.
O Johnny estava chorando muito.
Tears, I mean, just falling out of his eyes. He gets down
Lágrimas
on his knees,
descendo
and he
os
grabs my
olhos.
hands, and he's
E ele agarrou
touching
minhas
my hands, and
mãos
he's
e
saying to me, I will never do that again. I'm so sorry, baby.
eu nunca mais vou fazer isso novamente. Estou tão arrependido, baby.
I put the fucker away. I thought I killed it, and it's done. I thought I put the monster away, and I've done it before. It's done.
Eu coloquei o monstro. Eu me afastei do monstro, né? De ser o monstro e acabou, tá tudo bem.
But on his knees, and
Ele estava de joelhos e
I didn't have words. I didn't know what.
eu não tinha palavras, eu não sabia o que dizer.
I just remember thinking that it was just he was crying.
Eu só ficava pensando que ele estava chorando.
He seemed so sorry, but I knew I couldn't just forgive him because right? That means it will happen again, no?
Ele falava que estava muito arrependido e eu não podia perdoar ele, porque vocês sabem, né? Essas coisas costumam acontecer
You
novamente.
know, like I've seen the health class videos, like everyone else.
Que a gente vê naquelas aulas sobre saúde familiar, alguma coisa do tipo.
Got up in my car, I walked to the car. I didn't say anything. I made a point to not say, oh, it's okay, or anything like that. I just didn't say anything.
Eu fui pro meu carro, fui embora, eu não falei isso com ninguém.
Got up, I went to the car, I sat in my car, and I felt like I sat there forever. I didn't want to turn the key. I just leaned my head up against the window.
Eu queria sair, mas não queria sair.
And I remember just seeing my breath on the windshield, you know.
Ela encostou no vidro do carro, ela não chegou a ligar e sair. Ela entrou dentro do carro, fechou a porta, encostou no vidro da janela, né, do motorista e começou a ver a respiração dela, criar deixar o vidro embaçado, né, que ela estava encostada, respirando fundo no vidro.
The glass of the window of the door, just seeing my breath and trying
Vendo minha respiração,
to will
né,
myself to have the strength to
e tentando ter forças
know what I should do in this moment, because
para fazer o que eu precisava fazer nesse momento.
I was heartbroken.
Foi uma coisa
I sat there
horrível.
for a long time, and I eventually turned the key and drove home.
Eventualmente eu liguei o carro e fui embora para casa.
What did you do after that?
A advogada dela pergunta o que você fez depois.
I don't know.
Ela fala, eu não
remember
sei.
what I did when I got home. I don't remember.
Eu não me lembro.
I went to my therapist.
Fui ver meu terapeuta.
I told her,
Mulher,
Objection, hearsay.
eu digo a ela, eu conversei com ela. Aí a advogada do Johnny Depp, pela voz parece ser a Camille, falou: objeção, boato.
Also stands as to what she may have told her.
I went home, and a few days later,
Aí eu fui para casa e uns dias depois
Started getting, I actually don't know how many days later, but I started getting calls and texts from Johnny.
e alguns dias depois comecei a receber ligações e mensagens de texto do Johnny,
You know, apologizing profusely. I mean, just, you know, he said, I'd rather cut my hand off than ever lay it on you or lay it upon you, you know, and he had that way of talking. It felt like poetry.
ele tinha aquele jeito de falar que parecia poesia, né? Então eles ficaram conversando
And he showed up
e ele
to talk,
apareceu
like,
para falar
with the
pessoalmente.
understanding that, you know, he understood I could never forgive him and it was done.
Ele sabendo que eu jamais poderia perdoar ele, né, pelo que ele fez.
So I felt kind of safe in saying, okay, let's have a talk, or, you know, yeah, we'll talk. I
Então ela se sentiu segura para ter uma conversa.
think, you know, I know I just wanted to see him, and he comes over, brings
Eu queria ver ele apareceu.
me gifts. He brought me a couple cases, actually, of that Vega Sicilia wine that
Ele me trouxe caixas de presentes,
we've heard about, which is a really nice, expensive wine that I could never,
vinho
at that
bem
time,
caro,
dream of affording, you know.
que eu não, bem caro mesmo, que eu não
And
podia
we
pagar.
talk, and
E nós conversamos.
he tells me that he had put this thing away,
E ele fala que colocou essa coisa longe,
that it would never happen again. Of course, it would never happen again.
que nunca mais
He
aconteceria.
put this thing away.
Essa coisa longe, tá falando o tal do monstro, né?
Killed the fucker is what he said to me over and over again. Put that fucker away. I killed that monster.
Eu matei aquele monstro, ele ficou me repetindo isso várias vezes.
I'll kill it again. It's done. Never lay a hand on you again.
E eu nunca mais vou encostar em você novamente.
And I wanted to believe him, so I chose to.
Então eu quis acreditar nele e eu escolhi isso.
Chose to stay in the relationship?
A advogada dela pergunta se ela ficou na relação. Ela respira fundo.
Yeah, I did.
Sim. Isso foi, acho que, acredito eu, que seja relacionado ainda a 2012.
I believed it, but you know, I believed it wouldn't. I believed that there was a line he wouldn't cross again, and that was it.
Eu acreditava que tinha uma linha que ele não cruzaria novamente. Que ele manteria essa linha.
And so you stayed, correct? You stayed in the relationship?
Yes.
Ela confirma de novo, você ficou numa relação, ela confirma.
So, is this a good time? You
No,
want to-
you can keep going just a little longer. please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So could you please describe for the jury the evolution of your relationship after that time with Johnny?
Então ela pede para discutir com o júri a evolução do relacionamento dela naquela época.
I don't know how long it was until things got bad again. He did start drinking again.
Ela não sabe quanto tempo durou para as coisas piorarem de novo.
I remember it was almost, you know, he started drinking again, the disappearing thing.
Ele começou a beber de novo, desaparecer, aí voltava diferente.
And it would be unclear to me, you know, drunk,
Ele vinha bêbado,
often really drunk, and
muitas vezes bêbado.
kind of accusing me, but not directly. Nothing was very direct. It was a lot of accusations, but they were veiled. You know, what I was wearing, who I was with, why didn't I text him back? I didn't text him back right away.
Então várias acusações, o que eu estava vestindo, com quem que eu estava, por que que eu não retornei mensagem.
This is when I was at my place in Orange. Sometimes he would show up to catch me. Like that was a pretext for coming over. And by the time we were done talking, would be, I would have thought I had convinced him that I loved him, that I only loved him, there was no one else.
E naquela época ele aparecia lá para buscar ela, para fazer as coisas, e ela também estava convencendo ele que ela amava ele, né? Apenas
And
ele.
then that we were back in an upswing and would go back to good, loving, like,
E aí voltava com tudo, né? O namoro ficava bem de novo. Então tinha momentos de muita briga, segundo ela, né? E tensão, de ciúmes, e depois voltavam com tudo de novo.
sick, romantic love, like
Amor romântico,
sweet,
doce.
velvety love. And then it would be something I said, why did you say it that way? You know, if I had to leave for an audition, I could guarantee that when couldn't guarantee, but 2 of those in a row, and when I came back, he was angry at me.
Ela não podia trabalhar muito, que ele ficava com raiva dela, segundo ela.
You know, and I wouldn't necessarily know why. And then he started accusing me of things, probably, like, at first it was indirect, and then it became really direct.
E ele começou a acusar ela de coisas que a princípio eram indiretas e depois se tornaram diretas.
Then the punching of the walls next to my head was
Ele começou a socar paredes perto da minha cabeça.
just constant at that time in 2012 when he was
Que era constante em 2012, realmente, é 2012, eles estão falando,
drinking.
com as bebidas.
Eventually that became, you know, him accusing me of cheating. I'd defend myself. I'd say,
Ele me acusava de traição e eu me defendia, eu
you
dizia,
know, that's crazy. You're
isso é loucura,
wrong. I would never.
isso é errado, eu jamais faria.
The normal things. And they would escalate to the point where he would push me
E isso ia escalando ao ponto que ele ficava me puxando
or shove me down, and then I'd get back up. And
ou me derrubando no chão, e eu levantava.
this happened several times. That's why it's not
Isso
more specific,
aconteceu
I
várias
suppose.
vezes.
When I'd get back up, I'd look him in the eye. I made a point of getting up
Quando eu me levantava, eu me erguia e encarava ele nos olhos,
and looking him in the eye.
e eu olhava ele nos
My way of
olhos.
defending myself at that time.
Era a minha maneira de ficar me defendendo naquela época. Ela disse que ela não ficava gritando, discutindo nem nada, só ficava parada encarando ele.
And I'd look at him,
E eu olhava ele,
ask me if I wanted to go again,
e ele me perguntava se eu queria
shove me
novamente,
back down.
e me derrubava de novo no chão.
Eventually, it just hit me.
Eventualmente, só me acertava.
Remember, he hit me in the face when I denied having an affair with my ex-wife, my ex-partner at the time.
Eu me lembro de ele me acertar na cara quando eu neguei ter um caso com a minha ex-mulher.
And he said he had proof. I denied it.
Ele falou que tinha provas, mas eu negava.
And I was walking out of the bedroom, slapped me across the face. I turned to look at him.
Quando eu passei perto do armário, ele me acertou na cara e eu fiquei encarando ele.
And I said, Johnny, you hit me.
E eu falei, Johnny, você me acertou.
You just hit me.
Você apenas me acertou.
I'm going to ask you, Michelle, can you bring up 1783, please?
What number again, please?
E aí, pessoal, tudo bem? Aqui da Palacete Store. Esse dia foi o que... Deixa eu ver... É o primeiro dia que ela abre o testemunho dela no julgamento da Virgínia. Na verdade, esse é o primeiro dia. Ela está sendo interrogada pela advogada dela e ela está construindo a versão dela, né? Espero que estejam acompanhando os vídeos e até a próxima.